My video for November 1st, 2017 is entitled Info or Disinfo, which is which? Every day I am notified of things that are supposedly happening in our world. Sometimes it's by email, sometimes comments on my videos, and every once in a while by phone calls. Some of what I am being told are things I'd like to be true. Some are things I pray to God will never happen. It's easy to realize why some people choose to put their heads in the sand. It really is confusing when you'd like to know what is true and what is just BS. Personally, I've been taking hopium pills most of my life, wanting to actually see the so-called kingdom of heaven become real. Nevertheless, having faith that anything good will actually manifest is increasingly challenging. Yet denial of the potentialities before us does nothing to bring positive change. Neither does it make us immune from the challenges humanity is facing. I wish I could tell you with certainty what is going to happen next, but I don't think anyone really knows. Yes, there are some who claim to know, and people want to listen to them more than to someone like me, who is still struggling to figure out what it all means. Yeah, it's just turned 2 o'clock here, 2:01 actually. It was not quite 2 when I started this video. And I've been awake since before midnight, about between 11:30 and 12. I woke up and I looked at the clock. It was about 10 of midnight, and I thought I would get back to sleep, but after more than an hour of struggling for that, I realized I may as well just get up and come to the computer, which is what I did. So here I am at 2 a.m. making a video, and I didn't have a blurb prepared or any topic prepared or anything. I had no idea. Sometimes I write my blurbs the night before, and sometimes it happens just before I start recording, which is the case in this particular instance. But I admit, as I said in the blurb, that I really don't know what's going to happen. I've been hearing since last year. I've been hearing longer than that, but last year I finally bought an alternative currency, told that it was going to happen by July the 4th. That was last year. That still hasn't happened. And it gets to the point where I wonder who is feeding me the information. Are they like me that just hope for a better world and positive change and a means to do something good for others and to help lift us out of the struggle and the morass of living in a world that's run by liars and psychopaths and people with malevolent intentions and even more malevolent deeds? I mean, violating children. And I mean, it's horrendous when you understand what's going on in the world. So I do get it, why some people think that the way out is just to ignore it. But ignoring is the root of ignorance. We've ignored things. Of course, we didn't know any better. I mean, but we've been ignoring things throughout human history. We had no clue what was actually going on behind the scenes, all the schemes and the manipulations and the things that were being controlled by less than honorable beings, including people in religions, including people, of course, in politics, including people especially in the monetary system that control the monetary system. It's always been malevolent. The monetary system has always been a slavery system, always. Folks, if you could only understand that we don't need money if we would simply help one another and serve one another and be part of, and see ourselves as part of a bigger expression on the same team, an expression of life, we could make life beautiful. But do we do that? No, because malevolent beings are the ones that are calling the shots, and they've been calling the shots for a long time. And some people say it's our fault because we sinned. Oh, I know. I bought that for a long time. I really did. And those of you that have been listening to me for any period of time realize that that's my root was in reading the Bible and then studying other religions and trying to find common ground. And I mean, I have been involved in the spiritual path all of my life. And I was, as I've said many times, I was given to God before I was even born. And they didn't tell me that till I was 18 years old, when they finally made me realize that what they had done before they even got married. I'm talking about my parents, of course. Folks, nobody wants to see positive change more than I do. Nobody wants to believe good things more than I do. But I'm not going to be like so many spiritual people or religious people who choose not to pay attention. I want to know. I want to look at things. I want to feel. How does that make me feel? Not what do I think about it. I do that too. But I also question, how does it make me feel? And some of the things, especially when I realize how much disinformation there is mixed in with the information, it makes me feel really bad that I have to live on a planet that there's so much deception, so much manipulation of ideas, and with so many different intentions. I mean, people don't even have the same intention. Sometimes it's just simply for survival that people do what they want. Sometimes they've been brainwashed. Sometimes they've been threatened because they've been entrapped one way or another, and they get enmeshed in the system, and it's not because they want to be, it's because circumstances more or less dictated that they didn't have much of a choice if they wanted to live. And many have already been killed because they did resist. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge for all of us. And we will never resolve the issue unless we could somehow come together and get on the same page and start working toward a common ground and listening to one another, or divine intervention. Those are the only two alternatives that I see. And the latter one is the only one that makes any sense to me, because to enable a brainwashed population to come together would take a miracle in and of itself. And that again would be divine intervention of somehow turning a switch and changing our minds and turning off all the BS stuff and turning on all the codons that have been suppressed and suspended, so that the controllers could run roughshod over human rights. What's it going to take for us to get out of the dilemma in which we find ourselves? If I could give it to you on a platter, or if I could present it to you in a video, or if I could somehow open your eyes and heart and enable you to see some of the things that I see, and move toward a common goal, a common dream. If I could do that, I would. But I don't know how to do that. All I can do is take one day at a time, be the best I can be, and pray that I can stay alive long enough to see the changes that I've longed for all of my life. I want that, folks, and I think a lot of you do too. What's it going to take to bring it into actual experiential manifestation? That's the question that I leave you with. Thank you for listening, and namaste.